Hey guys, thanks for checking out the Mizzy Creations YouTube channel. I'm Mizzy and I decided to take my channel in a little bit of a different direction. So far, I already have some videos of like art tutorials for simple things and I just kind of like narrate over it, but now I'm actually going to make a series of tutorial videos for something that I absolutely love to do, and that is to make glycerin or melt and pour soap. So this first video is going to be just a tutorial on how to create a plain bar of soap. Nothing fancy, nothing added to it. It's just literally a bar of plain soap. Now you might be wondering what's so great about a plain bar of soap, but actually it's pretty good for your skin. Since there's nothing added to it, that means that there's no like extra chemicals that your body's going to absorb, things like that. I'm actually making these bars for my husband because he has pretty dry skin and he has like some, not necessarily psoriasis, but he has something like that. And so these plain bars of soap actually help his skin, like the inflammation goes down, the redness goes away. So it's very good to just have a plain bar of soap. But don't worry, my later videos are going to have all sorts of crazy, awesome recipes and different guides of how to do effects and things like that. So if you are a complete beginner to glycerin or melt and pour soap, then these videos are definitely for you. And I would like to make one thing really clear. My tutorials are based off of glycerin soap, not lye soap. So if you're interested in doing lye, then you can like use these effects and techniques with the lye soap. But in general, these are just for people who want to use glycerin. Creating lye soap, like, yeah, it's good soap, but it's also very hard to do, and if you're not experienced, then I don't recommend trying it. The reason why I can't do lye soap is because I'm actually dyslexic with numbers, and lye soap like requires percentages, decimals, things like that. Like, it's an actual chemical formula that you have to follow, and if you don't follow it, then you could actually like really burn yourself or whoever you're giving the soap to. If you're confused about what I mean by glycerin soap, this is what you're going to be using for these tutorial videos. This is a 5-pound pack of glycerin soap base. It is just glycerin, there's nothing added to it, and it's not yet melted, so that means it's not really soap yet. For these videos, you definitely need to go out and purchase glycerin soap base, and the good thing is it comes in all different varieties. Like, you can get plain white glycerin, you can get white glycerin that has goat's milk in it, or avocado, or cucumber melon, all things like that. Or there's also a clear glycerin soap base, which makes some pretty cool effects that we will talk about later. But for right now, all you need is your glycerin soap base, and then you will need some type of mold. This is just an example of a mold. This is not the mold I'm using in this video. But this mold is like, it's called a loaf mold because it makes a big, one big square at a time, and then you chop it into the little bars yourself. This particular mold is available at craft stores and online. However, it is slightly pricey. So if you do decide to purchase this, I recommend trying to get like a sale with it or a coupon or something like that, because when I bought it, it was $30. And don't get me wrong, it's totally worth it because like it fills 5 pounds, and then it has these little things on it that let you detach the whole thing, and then it separates into a big block, and it's just really easy to use. But again, you do not have to purchase one. This is just an example of a mold. But something that you should have, because it's very convenient and handy, is a soap knife. Now these soap knives pretty much all look just like this, but there is another kind that has like ripple effect in it. You don't necessarily need that, that's up to you. But this is fairly cheap. I think I got this for $5 and then I used the coupon, so it was like 50% off. Yeah, so it's really handy and it's not sharp. And another thing that is really important to have, especially when you're doing certain effects, is to have a clear spray bottle that is full with rubbing alcohol. Now the reason why this is so important is because not only does it eliminate bubbles in your soap, like once you put it in the mold you squirt this and the bubbles will disappear, but also when you're mixing colors and you don't want them to blend but yet you need them to layer, then this actually helps them adhere to each other, because otherwise If you have like a layered soap with 2 different colors and it's not adhered correctly, while you're using it in the shower, the colors will actually separate. But don't worry, we are going to get into detail later. Right now, this first video is just going to show you how to properly create a bar of soap. Alright, so let's get started. First, you will need to take the glycerin soap base out of its package and, using a soap knife or really any knife that you prefer, cut it in half. I prefer to take 1/2, put it back in the package, and set it aside for now. The smaller that you cut it, the easier it will be to melt. For plastic or metal molds, you will definitely need to grease the whole thing, being sure to get the corners really well. For silicone molds, you don't have to do this, you can skip this step. Your next step is to take some of the chunks of soap that you already cut up earlier, put it in a microwavable safe dish, and then melt it in intervals of 10 seconds. Gently pour the soap into the mold and be careful, it is extremely hot. You could use the spray bottle with rubbing alcohol to eliminate any air bubbles. Depending on the depth of your mold, your soaps will take anywhere from 1 to 3 hours to harden. Gently ease out your soap. If you create any dents, you can smooth them out later. And now you have fresh soap that can be used immediately. Thank you for checking out this first video of my series of glycerin soap tutorial videos. Let me know what you think in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.